distance. So I'm scouting a new project, a particularly ambitious / crazy project, and so a line.
Go on. Go on.
So the highest anyone's ever jumped out of, 140,000 is the highest of above the earth and just like free falling. And
I remember watching that.
yes,
Yeah.
the Red Bull guy actually.
Yes.
he actually lost his record with some less publicized person.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
that's what happens.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. With worse production values too.
Oh no.
for their effort, So when you see a composition, when you see something from 140,000 feet, the line that I'm making in the sand, which is like maybe 3 or 4 inches across, when it's seen from a cliff that's like 80 feet tall. So if you're at 140,000 feet, your line to appear to be the similar width than a drawing in the sand, the line width has to be about 215 feet, something like that.
Wow.
So I'm going to make a composition which is self-similar at all scales. So when you drop into it from 140,000 feet, the line width always appears the same width for the human eye, but it's becomes smaller and smaller and smaller until finally the line past the size of a human hair, it's physically there, and I'll have it, made at Stanford or MIT, and the part that is that you can't see costs quite a bit more than the artwork the size of Los Angeles.
What?
So I'm going to do the Scout actually next week.
Damn.
In
Holy Nazca lines here, it sounds like.
Yeah, I revealed too much. But
we'll edit that out.
Mum's the word.
But maybe you should be the one to drop out of from 140,000 feet.
I've jumped out of a plane before. Why not?
Well, you got 141,000 feet. You're going to beat the previous record.
Have you ever been working on a piece and then some kid or someone just walks all over it and you're just like, what are you doing?
Oh, no. Well, two things. One is that I have to, being in public space, I have to be chill about whatever happens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let it ruin my,
Not ruin your vibe.
My Zen Buddhist. I mean, that's the idea. Of course, I'm human. I can become annoyed. But the one thing that happens is that people drink in the day at the beach. It happens.
Do they?
Yeah, and they see
amazing.
And they see something interesting going on, and they're like, "Oh, what's that? What is that?
What do you got going on here, man?
So
this is amazing."
If you're not drunk or crazy, you're kind of like you see a person, and it's like, "Oh, they're really concentrating. I better not bother them." But some people will just come right out. But one cool thing about that is that I can go to the top of the cliff and look at a view of the conversation with the drunk person because it breaks my concentration. It alters the composition. The imperfection has, the wabi-sabi is really, really strong.
Do you ever get distracted by the waves?
The quality of the waves being particularly fantastic at the same time.
Yeah. You ever just think, maybe I need to hurry this up? The tide's getting good. Oh, my God.
That's happened a couple times at Kelly's Cove in San Francisco, where it's genuinely, but no, I'm not gonna let the waves distract me. I don't care how good it is. That being said, a south swell at my favorite surf spot tends to get me out there. So,
Jess, I want to ask you, what was your initial impression of Jim before or as you first started the project as opposed to after? What have you learned about him through this whole process?
Wow, that's a big question.
I know. I put you on the spot there.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Right on the spot. And he's standing right there. And for our listeners who don't know, Jim is a very large, tall gentleman who could squash Jess and I probably really easily if he wanted to. So I put you really on the spot. You got to say nice things about him.
Yeah. I think initially Patrick sent me a website that had Jim's artwork on it. So that was the first thing that I saw.
Yeah.
And I was immediately like, yeah, what is this? Let me see the footage you have. So I didn't know anything about the dinners or anything.
Yeah.
So that's what, that's more that I learned about. And outstanding in the field was something that I had no idea about, and that's what I learned the most about.
Yeah.
That was part of the inspiration to make the film in the first place, because either way, it's like people knew Jim about Outstanding in the Field.
Yeah.
But there's a whole other league of people that knew him through like his art.
You almost have like this dual personality,
Yeah.
right?
There's quite a few people that have there's quite a number of people that have come to the dinners and said, I just really don't care that much about food, but I really like the art and I just wanted to say hello. I was thinking to myself, everyone's got to eat.
Right.
Well, how did Outstanding in the Field really kind of come about, I guess? And I mean, obviously it's the you said it was kind of brought about with your brother inspiring things to you, inspiring this farm to table or table to farm kind of aspect.
I think I was really intrigued. I'm thinking about it in different ways in different days, but I was very intrigued by the profound difficulty of succeeding with the whole project. I knew the idea was a good one. I knew people would want to participate. And yet, being the pioneer in a category of, paid experiences, the first, the early adopters are a very tiny, tiny number of people. You're just going broke every second. I mean,
you took like your inheritance to get this started.
Spent the whole thing.
And then on top of that, like you got paid from like Land Rover for a project.
I needed that. If I didn't have it, I'd never have succeeded.
That's amazing.
My first job as an artist was $200,000. Never made a penny before that to do the Land Rover commercial. And if I didn't get to $200K, I had a contract to give everything away for $0 to a nonprofit that needed some tables and chairs.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
that close to not
a universal
being
move.
over.
That's crazy.
And somebody saw a picture of. Okay,
all right.
There was actually a picture of Patrick's.
Oh,
I have to say that Patrick came through. It was a magazine that was seen in a hotel lobby in like Southern California, and an ad company that had working with Land Rover looked at it. It looked at this magazine and actually they pointed out that specific shot of the hourglass composition where I didn't have any camera with me or anything.
Wow.
And just went up to the top of the cliff and thought, this looks really cool. I wonder if
Patrick will be, is Patrick around?
The tide is actually coming in.
Oh, fuck.
And in the picture,
that spot is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And in
It's
the
not
picture, there's
easy to reach.
there's a little tiny bit that's washed away at the very, very end, which really adds to the picture.
Of course.
But Patrick being a little further away, it's a mess. It doesn't.
So your commission was to make this movie then, basically.
Yeah, where's my cut?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
great
really.
because we got to shoot the Land Rover ad at a secret spot in Central California, and my job was to photograph Jim for like an hour in the morning,
Yeah.
There's some days off
and
or
I,
some hours off.
and I surfed pretty much like 10 hours straight, and they had like the Hollywood like lobster, like lunches and stuff like
Awesome.
that. And
Craft
yeah.
services
Craft
on
service.
the cliff.
Perfect.
It was at a spot that we can't name, but it was excellent.
It was pumping, and you got paid to surf, basically.
The place you hike into at the middle of the night and get kicked out as a 16-year-old. To go there as a paid artist after sneaking in as a 16-year-old. My first ever surfing adventure, going past Fuller's and seeing this giant south swell, walking in at 3:00 in the morning, being chased by ranchers.
Yes.
Being in the water and seeing the ranchers on
the
waiting
beach
for us to come
with
out
shotguns.
and then surfing too long because you can't because you're gonna get busted if you go in.
Wow.
And it's the biggest south swell of that year.
So-
Luck.
Dude.
And then there we are years later.
And then you're there
Yeah.
years later
So
making
one,
artwork.
One more quick story.
Yeah.
So that
Just one
it
more?
Yeah, several more quick stories. But it turned another. This is all about how on the edge all of these the pursuit of realizing outstanding in the field. I was approached to do this potential TV commercial. They could not find a spot that worked,
Really?
and we went out to the spot. Drove in because you're not 16-year-olds and
Yeah.
I didn't have trespass. And I was thinking to myself as I was walking up to the edge of the cliff, it's like, I don't care what this beach looks like. this is I'm gonna convince this commercial guy that this is the best damn place that
Yes.
I've ever seen for drawing in the sand, because I am truly dead if I don't get this job. And I learned that they had three choices and they had three directions they were going to go at, because
Wow.
so it wasn't a done deal. But they were genuinely about to cut it off. Like,
Oh,
okay,
shit.
we're not going to do this because we can't find a good spot. And I looked off the cliff and it's just like, wow, this is incredible. This looks fantastic. But it was a summer beach, which has a hill, in the middle of the beach.
Yeah.
And it's not good because you need,
Flat.
ruins the art. It's better in
Yeah.
the winter. And so we went as far as pushing the sand
No way.
with a front loader every day at the evening low tide, pushed it all out to sea. The tide came in the night, and then we went out there at 3:00 in the morning with floodlights to draw in the sand for when the Land Rover and Range Rovers would show up, and it all worked.
Did
It all
that
worked.
affect the wave then after? Like pushing that sand?
Nah, it was just it just simulated a winter beach. It worked. We made a winter beach.
That's fucking crazy.
every
That's
night,
awesome.
and it was 9 days of because it was print and TV commercial. So
Holy.
It was bliss.
It was bliss.
and Patrick was running around with his girlfriend surfing, and like I was like 90% of your time was just like
Surfing.
Lobster rolls.
Lobster rolls and surfing.
I was just watching Patrick. I was like, damn, this guy has got the coolest.
Were you resentful at all? You're like,
No, I was busy.
All right.
I had too much to do.
This motherfucker's surfing on my dime here.
Pretty much.
So can you give like our listeners like what outstanding in the field is? Just an overview. I feel like we've talked a lot about it, but we haven't actually like kind of said
Yeah.
what it is.
Oh, well, my brother's, as was mentioned, an organic farmer and a pioneer in organic farming, and I have a chef background. So going to the place where our food comes from and having a amazing meal at one long table,
Yeah.
and all the ingredients are coming from that farm and also the surrounding area, and you go for a walk and look around at what's happening at that particular site. Could be along the ocean and the fishermen's talking about catching the fish, or on a ranch, or we were just at the Hearst Ranch last year, and yeah, it's now 18 countries, yeah,
It's crazy.
and more to come.
How many in a year are you doing now around?
Oh, we've served in 2019 we served 19,000 people. So that's almost more than a regular old restaurant.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's popular.
And you're traveling, to
Yes.
all of these. You're going through
traveling circus, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
the
And this year,
electric Kool-Aid acid test of food, basically.
maybe 15,000 people this year.
Wow. Logistically, that sounds like a lot.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pure
So
hell.
what do you use? Do you use Asana? Do you use Trello to organize everything? What are your organizational tools
Well, one
here?
funny thing about this kind of thing, this idea-based. I mean, I several times some of the staff say they go like, Jim, what exactly do you do? Because people follow the idea,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The idea is manifested by many people contributing to it all, being gracefully done, and people have their specialized tasks they do.
Yeah.
I have carried a lot of tables though.
Yeah. Well, that you kind of have this master of ceremony role as well.
Yeah.
You set the vibe, which I think is probably one of the most important aspects of it, actually.
Yeah.
Setting that tone of a certain casualness, but also an appreciation.
That's a mix.
That's really and also you have all these strangers coming together, all these people who are don't know each other, and you kind of force us all to kind of get to know each other and come together.
Yeah, I mentioned, and I'm kind of revealing, that it's a bit of a stealth way of getting people together to meet strangers and make new friends, and you could say it's about local foods and place and getting a sunburn and insects and hiking and the farmer,
Do you have
drinking but it's people getting together and potentially communicating maybe people learning stuff they don't know about. People get into their tribes and they're like, I don't know if I would talk to that kind of person, but no one at the events is holding a political affiliation